Hello there, and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. I've been looking around the PlayStation Store again and have yet another list of 10 video games you can play for free on your PS4. If you haven't seen the first list, I'll link it at the end of the video, and if I've missed any beauties, please let me know below. If this is of use to you, please give us a like and think about sharing this with friends. Okay, let's do this. Let's start off with A King's Tale from Final Fantasy 15. This originated as a pre-order bonus for Final Fantasy 15, but since has been secretly added to the PlayStation Store for absolutely free. In this one, you'll be taking part on a side-scrolling 16-bit era mission which takes about 90 minutes to complete. If you were a fan of Streets of Rage or the old Turtles arcade game, this one is for you. The soundtrack is amazing. The melee-focused fighting is perfectly paced, and if you're a fan of Final Fantasy 15, it feeds into your understanding of the characters. And if you don't like Final Fantasy, well, don't worry, it doesn't play anything like that type of game. It's basically a flashback of events preceding Final Fantasy 15, and centres on Regis reliving his adventures from back in the day.
Sid and Claris join the fight at your command.
Let's go back in time to the first free game released on PS4. Initially, Warframe was released in November 2013 and was a solid shooter, but a little buggy and unresponsive at times. Well, many people tried it and deleted it, but almost 4 years later, this game is still receiving updates and has developed into a silent gem for the PlayStation community. This game now has a 4.5 rating out of a possible 5 stars on the store, and just look how sexy it is. Over the past few years, the Destiny influence has become prominent, and it feels like Metal Gear Revengeance in places too. Over 250,000 players are still regularly playing online. If you are strapped for cash and want a solid shooter to invest your time into, then look no further than Warframe. Did you ever play NBA Jam? It was bloody great, wasn't it? Well, there is a game available for free on your PS4 which follows in that gaming vein. It's called 3-on-3 Freestyle. The art style is family friendly, with a similar style to sort of Team Fortress, and is quite sassy like that too. You have a plethora of characters to choose from, which you can also change the appearance of to stand out from the crowd. The ever-present free play area allows you to hone your skills and switch characters to find which one suits you the best. Is this a great game? Well, no it isn't, but Warframe has shown us that sometimes these free-to-play games improve over time. Another thriving community built up in 2013 came from the game War Thunder. This is a military vehicular warfare MMO, allowing you to pilot aircraft, tanks and warships. The beauty of this title is the cross-platform gameplay, which allows PS4 players and PC players to team up on the battlefield or go up against each other. There are single-player portions to this game too, so if you don't want to battle online, then learn the basics in your own time. The community are quite mature. If you choose to open your comms, you shouldn't find any 13-year-olds who have f***ed your mum, which is always nice to hear, isn't it? 800 vehicles, 80 maps, 32 players and 8 years of ongoing support from the developer too. Have you tried it? What do you think?
There's a beast deep inside you. It will not die.
It is granted to a chosen few.
Skyforge was released on the PS4 at the same week as this video. I haven't spent enough time with it to either recommend it or warn you to run a mile, so please keep that in mind. This is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game set in a fantasy universe filled with science fiction elements. First released in 2014 on the PC, we finally have the option to play this one on PlayStation almost 3 years later. It's a well put together game with a solid focus on action. Quite a dynamic combat system is hidden under the hood with impressive combos, projectiles and all the typical classes you'd expect to find. With 14 unlockable characters and up to 99 players on the same server, this one could be the one to take over your life. Thinking of trying it? Let us know below. How about a mech-focused title? Well, Hawken could be the game for you. Released less than a year ago, Hawken takes elements from Zone of Enders, Titanfall and Mech Warrior and successfully smashes all three products together. On one side you have fast-paced action, on the other side it's more about planning, and good knowledge of the battlefield is very much required, especially when your character is healing. 30 mechs were launched with the game, with more updates happening regularly. This one is a whole lot of fun, and judging by the matchmaking, it requires more players desperately. APB Reloaded popped up in March 2017 and grabbed my attention when the Xbox community dubbed it the worst game ever made. It looks like a GTA clone and tries to play that way too. You can choose to be a hardened criminal or a licensed vigilante, which I think means you're like a rogue cop. The idea to have two opposing factions is great, but the more time I spend in this world, the more I want to take a long walk off a short cliff. Textures just don't load sometimes. The frame rate drops constantly, and it's a steaming pile of excrement. But someone must love it out there. Is it you? One for those little people in your life. And by that I mean children, not dwarves and Oompa Loompas. Anyway. Trove is another MMO which are everywhere on the PlayStation Store at the moment. This one embraces pixel art, cell shading, and Minecraft's approach to voxel gaming. By the way, voxel means 3D space, like volume, depth, height. So go impress your friends with the new word you've just learnt. Anyway, you're going to build a lot, you're going to discover quite a few things, you're going to fight all within this friendly atmosphere with this lovely colour scheme. If you've played Minecraft in a public server and you've seen your buildings burn to the ground, then Trove is here to help. By building upon something called a cornerstone, in this world you can protect your home from random events and those little buggers that try to destroy everything you make. Thanks, Trove. The Tomorrow Children released on the PlayStation Store late in 2016. In this one you play as a young girl answering the call of the motherland, which could not sound more Russian if you tried. This is a blend of action, simulation, strategy and a few social elements too, supporting up to 45 players. To sum up the game quickly, I describe it as resource gathering in order to build a city with occasional platforming and combat elements too. I'm super confused by this one, so please let me know your thoughts below. Let's finish off with a bit of a classic. DC Universe Online was released in 2013 and is yet another MMO, but with recognisable characters that you love. I've brought this back to your attention due to the sudden influx of superhero movies, cartoons and just general merchandise, to be honest. As Batman is building the Justice League in the films, why not jump into DC Online and build your own ragtag group of heroes? Although it's old, it still has enough quality to give you a great comic book thrill ride. Every DC superhero and supervillain is here, so if you haven't tried it yet, grab an old bedsheet as a cape, wear your underwear on the outside, and talk into a glass.
Yes, it could be bloody brilliant.
Your reign ends now.
Okay, so that's 10 more free-to-play games that you can grab now on the PlayStation Store. Hopefully you didn't know about all of these. I'd really like to know what you think about these games and what rating you would give them. Oh, and a quick note, we'll soon be getting Paladins, which should be free to play too.
This is my domain. Time to hunt. Here comes the pace!
Woohoo!
Bring it on!
Come watch the great Evie take down all the people she hates!
As soon as I know more about that, I'll confirm it with you guys and be back here with another free games update. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade, and I'll see you next time.
I will make this a horrific scene of bloodshed.
Death awaits you all!
Yes, I will see you next time. What? That's a terrible impression.